I'm missing out on all these amazing virtues and all this reward for becoming a scholar in the religious sciences. And some people might read these hadiths at a later stage in their lives and they might feel regretful. I wish I would have taken a different path. So how do you address this concern? If there is so much reward and so much emphasis on the religious sciences, should you have become a scholar and spent your entire life in the seminary or seminary work? Or no, you just continue your profession. At the same time, just know the basics of the religious sciences. That is a very difficult choice to make. It's not that cut clear what the answer would be. But basically, here's my understanding. If there is a sufficient number of scholars in society who are guiding people, who are delivering the religious sciences, who are doing constant research to get closer and closer to the core of Islam, then if someone spends a lifetime in another profession and they're mindful of their faith, they also support religious institutions and projects, it's difficult to say that becoming a scholar of religious sciences then would be better. Because we do have many hadiths and stories of people who were not scholars. Just average people. When you look at it from the outside, they're average people. Some of them could be store owners. Some of them could have different professions. They had a very special status with the Imams of Ahlul Bayt. Sometimes the most trusted of their companions would not be companions who were officially scholars. They were just an average store owner, for example. Being in your profession, but being mindful of God, worshiping God properly, fulfilling your dues, obligations, that has a great value in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes that could outweigh being a scholar by profession. But if there is a need, if you live in a community in which there is a need for scholars to educate the youth, to protect the future of our communities, then what we understand from the ahadith is that becoming a scholar probably has greater value in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it really depends on the era, the circumstances, the community you live in. But this need is very important. We have to see, where is there a need? In fact, you can apply this principle to all professions. If you go to a community and you see most people are doctors, right? And you see there is actually a need for other professions, it is more rewarding to take those other professions. Because in the end, serving people is what counts in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you always have to see what is the need. Today, I see many youth in society, that's the last thing they think about. When you are trying to decide your career for yourself, yes, you should do something that you feel passionate about, obviously, because if you dislike something, it's very difficult to succeed at it. But when you're trying to figure out what profession you want for yourself, the first question you should ask, is there a need? Is there a greater need? Can I do something that can better serve my community or no? That's a very important question to ask. Many of us don't ask this question. We just take on a career without considering all these factors. So if there isn't that great need, then probably focusing on your profession and expanding in it a lifetime, we could say that it has a lot of value in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's still difficult to make that judgment, Allah knows, but we're safer trying to make that judgment.